Right. You see, Mr. Parker and I feel that the bonus situation has never been on an equatable level. This is your look at the NECA Toys Alien 40th Anniversary Brett. In a remote region of the galaxy, the United States space tug Nostromo, carrying a cargo of mineral ore, makes its return journey to Earth. The ship's crew, 5 men, 2 women, and a cat, are awakened from their hypersleep chamber when Mother, the onboard computer, monitors a strange transmission. According to company law, the crew must investigate any signal indicating possible intelligent life. What begins as a routine search mission quickly escalates into a nightmare of unimaginable terror when the crew discovers and brings aboard an extraterrestrial life form. Before we get a closer look at Brett, the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out how tall the figure actually stands. While I'm getting that all in order, I'd also like to send a big thank you to the folks over at NECA that provided this sample of Brett that we're having a look at in this review. If you're in the market of picking up this figure for yourself, you should be able to now find it in retail stores and comic book stores as well. The figure of Brett stands 7.5 or 7.5 inches in height, which then translates to the figure standing 19 centimeters exactly. Showing you how the figure stacks up with some of the other 40th anniversary Alien figures that NECA have also put out. Let's bring in Ellen Ripley. They're roughly about the same height. I guess you could say that Brett is slightly taller just for the fact that he's got the hat on top of his head. And then another figure we can, of course, bring in, which he will be encountering soon enough, is, of course, the Big Chap, also released under the 40th anniversary line. By far, right now, somebody had asked me what my favorite Alien figure that NECA Toys have put out. I have to say, right now, my favorite is the Big Chap from the 40th anniversary. I really like the design of this one. But it kind of gives you an idea of how the figure stacks up with some of the other figures that they've produced. He is, again, about the same size as Ellen Ripley and quite considerably smaller than the Big Chap. Both figures we've already had a look at. But I tell you, though, that 40th anniversary Big Chap is something special. Let's get a closer look at the accessories that come included with Brett. He actually only comes with 2 things. One that has made an appearance before and one thing that has never made an appearance. The first one is the thing that has made an appearance before, and that is, of course, the tracking device. We have seen this released with several figures already, and not really much gets changed here. It's still done in a very nice looking green color with all the additional accent colors of the red, all the knobs, buttons, and switches on it. I really do like this, and even though, yes, we have gotten this before, and technically, yeah, you probably could have easily just used this tracker that you've gotten with other figures. It's always nice the fact that they give us this. So if, say, let's just say you picked up Brett, but you didn't pick up Ripley, well, then you got yourself a tracker. You don't have to worry about buying another figure for it. I would definitely encourage you, though, the idea of picking up more than one of these, or all the figures making up the 40th anniversary line, because they are all really great looking figures. Even like the little small view screen you can see right there. Just some stellar work there. But he does come with that. And then, like I said, the other thing he comes included with is something I've not yet seen with an Alien released figure, and that is the cattle prod. It comes in 2 pieces. Well, not technically 2 pieces. They're joined together by this hose. The one side is, of course, the little switch and the handle. The other side is actually the cattle prod. One thing I like is that they've used a strong enough plastic. I mean, you wouldn't want to be tugging and pulling this too much. For the risk, yes, you could still pull this and break this. But at least they used a thick enough cording of plastic still that it's going to be a little bit more durable. That being said, of course, you can display any one of these in the figure's hands. I think when it comes to displaying the figure, I'm probably going to be displaying it with the cattle prod. Only because we've got the tracker device used with other figures, and I probably want to keep them somewhat different from one another. All you basically have to do then is just take the cattle prod, fit it into his hand. Kind of looks like a bit of a katana, doesn't it? And then the other end, you can just like latch onto his hand. You just pry the fingers away from the palm, and then just fit the handle just into his hand like so. And again, I'm probably going to be displaying it. It's a little loose on this side, admittingly. I mean, you could technically swap this around and use the handle on this side, on this hand instead. And then just, like I said, switch those 2 around. There is technically like this little clip piece, but that's more just for the sculpt to make it look like it's movie accurate. There's no place anywhere on the figure of Brett where you can actually fit that on. but I do like the fact that they give you the accessories that they did. He doesn't get much, technically. He only gets really 2 accessories, a little less than what Ellen Ripley got, but it's still specific accessories that I would most likely display with Brett anyways, favoring instead, again, going the cattle prod route instead of the tracker, because again, we've gotten that one before. With the NECA Alien 40th Anniversary line, we're finally getting those figures I've wanted from day one. What I wanted was the crew members of the Space Tug Nostromo in their regular casual outfits. We have gotten ourselves Ellen Ripley, and to some extent we did get ourselves a Dallas, although he was in a spacesuit. Right from day one, what I wanted was these characters in their regular casual outfits like we see in the movie itself. With this particular line, we're getting ourselves a Parker, an Ash, and of course the Brett that we're having a look at in this video. Brett has a special place in my heart as well. Not for what he does in the movie, but the fact he's played by the late actor Harry Dean Stanton. Now, while he's done tons of movies over the span of his life, the one movie that stands out specifically for me, especially around Christmas time, is a classic called One Magic Christmas. Shot in Canada in the early 80s. If anybody has not seen One Magic Christmas, definitely do yourself a service. Harry Dean Stanton plays a Christmas angel called Gideon. Of course, he doesn't look like this at all. He wears a long cowboy hat and a trench coat, almost to the point where I'd consider getting another one of these to see if I could try my hand of turning Brett here from Alien into Gideon, the Christmas angel from One Magic Christmas. Who's going to drop that in a review? Nonetheless, though, when it comes to likeness, I gotta say that's a pretty good bang-on likeness to actor Harry Dean Stanton, and of course Brett, how he appears in the film. In case you are curious, no, the hat is not removable. It's part of the mold of his head. I do like the discoloration, even like the stubbled area where he has shaved, but you can see as the whiskers are now starting to grow in, he's got that slightly darker gray color scheme at the bottom of his face. I like the fact that they've also put in the little spots. He's got these little blemish marks all over his, well, at least the top area of his forehead. And that's been also mimicked here in the figure as well. He's got a couple of those also on the side of his face. Wrinkles that you would have in the movie is also here, also in the figure. And I really do think they did a great job here of recreating Brett from the film itself. I think when it comes to most definitely displaying the figure, I'm probably going to be displaying it with the Xenomorph next to him. Of course, his final hurrah in the movie. I do like the coloring on this guy quite a bit. Of course, he's got his hat, which we closely can look at, which has the USCS Nostromo, and the number of sequence down below there as well. I like even the texture work that they incorporated into the hat, where it does really give you that look like it's fabric, like a little hair that's sticking out the back there as well. He does have his jacket, which you probably have seen me playing with quite a bit. Technically, I suppose you could remove it, but it always goes then to the case that the sleeves are still part of his jacket, you know? So even if you were to remove this, you would still have the sleeves left behind. The coloring is pretty accurate as well, even like to the shirts, which we keep peeling. I keep peeling back. That sort of Hawaiian shirt that he has in the movie is also replicated here as the figure. It's not quite even white. It's almost got like a slight yellowish tint to it. He's got the little patches there on the top of his jacket. Spin this around, and it even has the Nostromo written across the back. I've mentioned this countless times when it comes to looking at these figures. When it comes to cloth, of course, they're recreating this in plastic. But I like that you get those natural wrinkles developing on the plastic like they would if you had real fabric. We move a little bit closer down. Further down, he's got the lower half. Not quite of the space suit, but a very similar design with multiple pockets and little patches on the fronts of his knees, all the way down to his white shoes, which are slightly discolored. They're not quite solid white. In fact, it kind of looks like they used a darker plastic and then they just painted white over top of it. As you can see, there's a few little areas of probably the darker plastic showing through. In case you're also curious as well, flipping Brett upside down, you can see underneath he has those rather familiar peg holes. So of course, if you have any difficulty having Brett standing up, just make use of a display stand. After all, that's why NECA Toys produces them. Let's have a look at Brett's articulation. Now all I can really see when I'm looking at him is the Angel Gideon. Definitely going to have to pick up another one of these. But as I was talking away about One Magic Christmas, his head rotates all the way around. It hinges down to that extent, and it also hinges up to that extent. You can also rock it back and forth as well. The shoulders allow the arms to hinge out at a full 90-degree angle bend. In addition to that, you can also rotate the arms all the way around. A little tight for quarters at times, just because you probably can hear it. It's rubbing against that softer plastic that they use for his jacket. In addition to that, he has two hinges, one there, allowing the elbow to double bend. Always like when they incorporate that. The hands rotate all the way around. You can also hinge them back and forth. He does have an upper torso ball joint, although very nicely concealed by the shirt that he's got over top of it. Sometimes, yes, while you are bringing it back, you see that line cut where the top of his pants stop, and then the rest of the mold of his torso continues. In this case, they painted it the same color. If you keep it at normal, you don't see it as much. Obviously, bringing it back, yes, you're going to see that little coloring underneath. I suppose they probably could have colored this little gap area here the same color as the rest of his shirt. So if you did bring it back, like I'm doing right now in this review, this would be the same color as this. Just one little point to mention. But it does also allow full rotation. You can rotate the upper torso back and forth quite easily. The legs split out. I noticed they're a little tighter on this figure, and that's not a complaint at all. I mean, I welcome instead tight joints in these figures, rather than figures that when you get them out of the packaging, they're excessively loose, and that's not the case here at all with Brett. Leg goes forward to about that. Leg goes back, and you probably noticed it when I brought his leg forward. This whole lower half here is done in a softer plastic, so it does allow when the leg to move forward, it does stay out of the way. The only downside though is when you are rotating the leg, sometimes this little area here gets tucked inside the socket area of the leg. You may have to even take a little screwdriver sometimes and fish that back out. You probably even could do it with your fingers as well. Brett also has a single hinge in the knee, which also allows the lower leg to rotate, and you do have regular foot articulation. In other words, the foot moves up and down. You can rotate it somewhat all the way around. Of course, it's going to rub up against the cuff of the pants, and he does have an ankle rocker as well. Brett, again, I might be a bit biased towards, I'm just happy the fact that we're finally getting these crew members in their regular casual outfits. And of course, in this particular series, we're also getting ourselves the Ash. We're also getting ourselves the Parker. So I'm just, again, thrilled the fact that we're finally getting the crew members actually in their regular outfits. And just for one last closing thought, we'll just bring in the Big Chap. Still love the look of the Big Chap. Probably going to be the way I'm going to display it. I'll probably come up with a little bit more creative of a look than what you're seeing right now. But I'm so thrilled the fact that we finally get ourselves Brett. And yes, I'm probably going to get myself a second one of these so I can make myself the Angel Gideon, which I'm sure nobody at all knew anything about One Magic Christmas. I'm probably the only one that even watched that movie. So just to show of hands, by the way, how many people have actually seen the Christmas classic One Magic Christmas? 1985? No? Shot in Canada? Doesn't ring a bell. Starred Mary Steenburgen as well. That the actress, of course, probably you guys, many of you know from Back to the Future 3, was also in One Magic Christmas. Nobody has seen that movie. I'm the only one that's seen this movie. Do yourself a service, certainly during this holiday season. If you want to watch a feel-good Christmas movie, find One Magic Christmas. It's great. It's the last time I'll mention it, I promise. Let me just back on that. Let me go back on that. If NECA Toys want to obviously make use of existing molds, they already have the Brett after all. They have a Harry Dean Stanton mold, and they're thinking to themselves, what else could we do with a mold of Harry Dean Stanton? Just a little bug in your ear. Christmas Angel Gideon, One Magic Christmas. It's never going to happen. I don't think anybody even there has watched the movie. You guys all disappoint me. Okay, we'll go back to Alien Talk now. This specific wave, again, gives us some great releases. Finally, we get our first Ash. Finally, we get our first Parker. Finally, we get our first Brett. Of course, we get ourselves some aliens thrown into the mix as well, but this is turning out to be a great wave for getting all those characters that we really have been asking for from day one. When it comes to his accessories, Brett gets skimped a little bit. He only technically comes with a cattle prod and he comes with a tracker, but I really don't think he needs anything else other than that. When it comes to displaying the figure, I'm probably going to be displaying him. Maybe I'll actually even bring Jonesy in. I'll put that as part of my diorama, and then I'll have the Xenomorph sort of in the background. Oh, yes, I'm just picturing that now. Brett definitely does look like his movie counterpart, and really good bang-on likeness of actor Harry Dean Stanton. One last time, NECA Toys, just in case you want to make use of that mold, Christmas Angel Gideon. Okay, that's the last time I'll mention it. If you guys are new to this channel and you like the content you're seeing, maybe you've seen the movie I was just talking about. No, not Alien. If anybody has seen One Magic Christmas, let me know down below in the comments section. I'm sure everybody has seen Alien. Alien is a classic. One Magic Christmas. Just throwing that out there one last time. Also, if you're enjoying the content, like I said, you can hit that subscribe button. You can turn those bell notifications on. That's always crucial. It gives you the heads up 411 when new videos are coming onto this channel. I can also throw that into the mix as well. Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when you'll find new videos popping up. Some would say that translates to 14 videos. Actually, I don't always do videos on the weekends, so it's normally just Monday to Friday, 10 videos. That's 10 videos a week. Lots of NECA reviews coming your way. Probably going to buy myself another Brett. You know why. Just going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching as you always do, guys. I'll see you guys next time.